RC Jim here, and here we are with our P51. Had a bit of an incident. You may recall at some time back that we were discussing lift characteristics, and I was mentioning how the low-wing aircraft is much more dramatic with its stalls. Well, warbirds are no exception to that. And with the P51 here, I was coming in for what looked like it was going to be a beautiful landing. I was just holding off the runway, 1.5 to 2 foot elevation, something like that. And all of a sudden, she just bang, noses into the ground, and bent both landing gear pretty well equally. You can see that I'm holding that level there, and you can see that angle going up. It's supposed to be going up this way, or if anything, going a little bit that way. You know, it goes in like this. So if anything, I'd like it a little bit forward. So anyway, I really bent those things back. Well, I wasn't too sure about just simply grabbing a hold of it and bending it, given that we just got some plastic bits sitting in styrofoam here. And I got it out, and I've tried pulling out the best I can, and I can't straighten it that way. So I'm going to make a little bit of a holder to hold on to these, I guess they're aluminum bits. This aluminum plate here that's holding it on. I don't think putting a wrench onto this bottom part is going to be a good idea. That's probably plastic. So we're going to try to secure the aluminum plate here to where we can get a hold of it and bend it to the angle that we want it. So let's see how we go. I've got some MDF here, and I've measured the width of the plastic servo bit at the bottom at 2 centimeters. So I've marked that there, and it's 4 centimeters to the outside of that plate that I'm going to do. So we're going to lay this out and get it roughly, and we'll measure it as we cut it just to make sure that things are right. I'm going to then cut some slots into the side of it there to hold on to the aluminum bit. I'll cut this off, maybe make a bit of a handle on it. Hopefully we don't have to use it too many times, but we'll see if that works. Halfway decent MDF, so I'm thinking that this is going to hold okay, but hey, one way to find out. Well, here we've got what we want to cut out. Be a big notch there to fit around the servo that sits down below the plate. The plate will fit onto that bit right there. So we're going to get it going like this. Get your hearing protection on. Be very careful. The next thing we're going to do is to get these cut through all of the way. Now to get the end of that cut off, I'm going to Okay, so now we got the tool that we think we need. We'll give it a try. As we trial fit our device, we realized we needed to relieve a little bit more there and make the slots a bit bigger, so we've done that. But then we see that we still have a little bit of a issue right here. Okay. So we want to relieve those a little bit. Looks like on the bottom side it's all going to be fine. Now we've relieved it a little bit more. We have that bit extra there. We've now put a little bit of a relief onto each side. We've fitting it on this side so that it misses this, and now we can get it all the way on there. Now, the question is, how are you going to go for straightening it? Yep, that does the job. Okay. We can certainly see the difference between the straightened one and the unstraightened one. They were both pretty well identical before. And what I'm wondering right now is whether I could get away with moving it a little bit forward, which would certainly help our ground handling an awful lot. So to do that, I really need to retract it and then see whether it's going to fit in there. Okay, so retracts. Okay. So if that one was forward a little bit, that would be okay. Okay. And I think I'm going to get that one bent part way before we go too much farther, just because it's hitting on the side and I don't want to do damage to it. Okay, I've just relieved it a bit there to give us a little bit more springing room. Get this guy on here, and we want it that way a little bit more. Yeah, definitely that way a bit more. Okay, now, retracts. Okay, that just barely fits in there. It's just rubbing just a bit as it goes in. But that's certainly at the front of the thing. I might just relieve that back just a tiny bit. Too far forward. Okay. Put the screws in and see if that still looks good when it's fixed in place. Could go a tiny bit farther forward, I'd say. I can see you got a little bit more gap in the front than in the back. The wheel cover is exactly right. Okay, a little bit farther that way. I'm thinking we need something on this to measure things with. If we had something straight up there, that'd be on the wheel. Something there would just be next to it. Okay, Plan B, enhancement to design. Be right back. Okay, here's our idea with regard to being able to measure just where we are. I've cut these 2 strips of wood to where they're identical length. I can line them up at the bottom. I can rubber band it on so that if I'm bending I can have them off. And then when we put our wheel on there, we then can see where we set in terms of where it's sitting. Okay, so I'd say the inside of this is lined up with roughly where the tread is starting out there. Realizing you got a bit of play, so I'm going back and forth just to see what's happening there. Okay, so we're a tiny bit forward, and that is good if it fits in there okay. So I put it down in here. First off, we'll try it without screwing it in just to see what happens. Put the gear down, press this in so it's nice and snug. And as I'm looking at this wheel, it can rotate. It's a tiny bit forward in the hole. As you can see also, this is a little bit forward, but that's okay. It'll be easier to handle on the ground if we're a tiny bit forward. And of course, it won't take too many landings. It'll get pushed back anyway. So that's why I'm going to leave this one, and we're going to work on making that one identical to it. We're not too far off right now. I mean, right now it's just a smidgen forward, although it's not held in there, but just a less than a millimeter forward based on the wheel cover thing. So yeah, we'll give that a bit of a nudge, and I think we'll be there. I think we've got it now. That is very good, I think. So let's get the screws in there. And the proof is in the pudding. There we go. That's looking quite nice. They look quite even. The wheels can both turn, so not binding on anything. You can see from the wheel cover thing here, it's a little bit forward. That's all right. And I'll just re-stick down the bits of tape on there, and we're all set. Well, I trust that today's video has been helpful to you. Great to have the P51 ready to go again. Can't wait until Tuesday morning when I take it out again to fly. But in the meantime, happy flying for yourself. And of course, along the way, make sure you subscribe to our channel, because we not only have lots of flying on the channel from our club at the Central Coast Model Aero Club here in New South Wales of Australia, but also you'll find a lot of helpful tips how to do things, and basically anything that happens to my airplanes when I have to fix them in that, I'll put a video online. And you never know, one of those things you might find happens to you as well, and so we might as well be learning together. So you have a great day, and wish you all of the best.